Howdy, AD Camps here, and we are sharing some more kind of discovery and findings that we took away from another book that we're studying from for leadership content. And this book is The Fred Factor. It's written by Mark Sanborn, and it's actually a pretty quick read and or listen on Audible if that kind of fits your fancy there. So
Yeah, so Fred Factor is the true story of a postal carrier that delivered mail to Mark Sanborn. This guy passionately cared about his job and the people he served, and through his relationship building with his customers, Mark Sanborn identified leadership skills in him, identified that this guy has a way of taking a monotonous or boring job and making it truly more. Making a difference with it, right? He found meaning and passion in serving others through how he delivered the mail. And that's basically what the book is written around, is the impact Fred had on Mark Sanborn.
Yeah, it's really cool that it is a true story. And the book is basically just about that. Like, Mark meets Fred when he moves in, and he proceeds to provide the best customer service imaginable. He's completely devoted to making sure that Mark and all of his other customers are completely taken care of. Thinks outside the box to accomplish that. So, just a really cool story. And he gets a parade when he retires. So, it's a happy ending. So.
yeah, it's pretty cool. Yeah, I thought it was really interesting. I mean, the specific story around Fred the mailman was, in close proximity to when Mark moved into a new neighborhood. He the mailman Fred introduced himself, and just some casual conversation found out that Mark was traveled for a living, and I think Mark even said he didn't have a real job, he goes around giving speeches and stuff like that. And so so just based off of what Fred was hearing in that interaction, his mind started turning already, about, okay, well, my job is to deliver mail to this guy that I just found out travels all over the world and is, I think he's gone 200 days out of the year or something like that. And so he just started offering up different solutions for how he could handle the mail while Mark was out of town, and that just really registered with Mark. And I think we all, after talking about this book, can relate to just amazing customer service experiences that we've had. We also related to some really bad, terrible customer service experiences that we've had. So it's really cool to see how Mark took this interaction with his name.
I don't know what that was.
I don't know. A rat just crashed in down the walls or something in here. So in true aide-de-camp fashion,
We're just gonna roll.
We're gonna roll with it. All right. So, it's just how he was able to take this interaction that he initially had with Fred the mailman and kind of turn that into a book and kind of framing up principles around it and stuff like that. So, kind of the overarching things that he saw in Fred and started to see in other people as he interacted, had great interactions, whether it's from a customer service standpoint or just any situation where he felt like somebody was going out of their way to create value for him. So the principles that he lays out in this book, which we're going to get into more details in the next section, are everyone makes a difference. Success is built on relationships. You must continually create value for others, and it doesn't have to cost a penny. And the last principle is you can reinvent yourself regularly. You can reinvent yourself regularly. So we're going to kind of go into more details here. But one of the things that really stood out to us is how this book really kind of told the right story around one of our 5 core values, which is go the extra mile. And I think this core value, has a lot of room for ambiguity and for things to be misapplied to it. And I think this book gives us a really good framework to kind of share more stories about what go the extra mile means to us from an aide-de-camp perspective, and what we think it should mean to the rest of the business. So
yeah, we're gonna talk about who we think this book's really for. For employees, it's a great book to give to your staff if you're trying to, as we're going to talk about, build that fleet of Freds. It's a good book for peers in management. He talks a lot about what if the majority of the people you interacted with acted like Fred did. I think 5 minutes into his first conversation with Fred, he says, "This guy cares more about my mail than I do," right? And that's kind of like that go the extra mile mentality. When you have that and when you're living that out, it doesn't take long for people to pick up on it and say, "Man, this is the kind of person I want to work with. This is the kind of person I want to work for, do business with." And like he picked it up in 5 minutes, and like that's what you see when you live out this book.
Very cool. Well, stay tuned for the next section here. Thanks.